Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Ride Home Rants podcast. This is, as always, your host, Mike Bono. I have a great guest for us today. I'm going to try to get through all of his accolades here in one breath, but I doubt I'll be able to do it because there's a lot. This guy was a two-time head football coach at Lowellville and Mathews, both in Ohio. Had a record of 38 and 42 overall in 8 years. He is currently the AD at Mathews now, has been there for the past 4 years. Two-time Trumbull County OH Coach of the Year, Division 7 Northeast Ohio Coach of the Year, also been an assistant coach at Springfield and Poland, Ohio, was also the starting quarterback on a back-to-back Lowellville playoff teams in high school. 5 overall playoff appearances, 2 as a head coach and 3 as an assistant coach. And he's been a teacher for the past 14 years. On top of all of that, Mike Pulmbo joins the show. That was a mouthful.
Man, I need to bring you with me everywhere I go. If that's the way you're gonna, I need that in my life. I don't get that anymore. Now being married with 2 kids, you don't get that. So I appreciate that.
Married like the one, I get it. I get it. I 100% get it. I like to gas people up before the show.
Jeez, I feel good.
You're the second person now that I've had on. They were like, dude, that was the best intro I've ever gotten in my life. And one of them was a comic buddy of mine. He goes, can you come to every one of my shows and just host every show I do? If you're gonna get me like that. I was, hey, that's what I do, man.
There you go.
So I mean, let's dive into it. So you coached for a bunch of teams. Why coaching? What got you into coaching? And take us through that a little bit.
Yeah. So, when I was a senior in high school, obviously we had some really good success with football, basketball, and track. I was, 3-sport athlete. And then my history teacher in high school, Mike Moran, he was, I was like right before I was ready to graduate. He was the junior high football coach for the high school I was at. And he came up to me and he goes, hey, I think you would be a really good coach. He goes, would you like to be an assistant under me at the junior high level? And I was like, I didn't know first thing about it. I was, getting ready to go to college. I was like, my major was chemical engineering in the beginning. And then I said, yeah, sure. I said, I had some time. It fit in my schedule and I committed and I loved it. Loved every minute of it. It was like a different way of looking at the game of football, and football is a great game. And a lot of people just watch the ball go, who scores that. But if you understand the game of football, and it just makes it that much better to watch on TV. And, so I got to thank really Mike Moran to be the guy. My old history teacher is the one that, got me into coaching. It's just a great sport. It's a good team building. And, it's just, one of everybody I think should at least give it a shot anyways, so.
Yeah. I mean, I've coached, it wasn't football.
Yeah.
I wish it was football. But I was a swimmer as well.
Okay.
Dabbled in a little swim coaching this past summer for some summer leagues around here. And I tell you what, it's a different aspect when you're not the one in the pool having to do the workouts. So the workouts were pretty intense. I enjoyed it a lot more than I did when I was in the pool.
For sure.
But you're right. It brings on a whole new meaning to the sport. And, even football, I was an average football player at best. I'm a slow white Italian kid. So it wasn't the best receiver in the world because I was slow, but I could get you that first down if you needed.
I'm still waiting for my growth spurt. I don't know if you're still waiting for yours. I'm still waiting to get a little bit taller. I'm getting wider, but not taller. So
I'm getting wider now, but my dad used to introduce me as the tallest dago in all of Fallsview, West Virginia, where I grew up, because I'm 6'5", so I'm an anomaly for an Italian.
Oh yeah, well, never mind then. I am I'm 5'8", so I mean I think like I said I'm tall for the person, and in my town I'm one of the tallest people. Being in a small Italian village, 5'8", I kind of look over people.
Italians, my dad, I say he's 5'9" on a good day. On a tall day, he's 5'9". But yeah, growing up, I still remember like even going to church with, my families on Sundays and standing in the pew and just being just a everyone was chest high to me, and you saw me sticking out in the middle of the pew, right in the back, couldn't miss me, like a big tree in the middle of a bunch of Italians. It was a sight to see, seeing me there. So just a little quick, you might enjoy this a little bit, knowing the height of most Italians. So was in church, and Catholic church, as I'm sure you probably know, the Italian Catholic church and everything like that. So we're sitting there, and it's the dead of summer, like end of July, August, 100 degrees outside, and I don't think this church turned the AC on. So I'm standing there, and I'm in a full-blown sweat. And I remember putting my hands on the pew and looking over at my dad and going, I'm going down. And I passed out from the heat, but I landed on the back of the lady in front of me. And they got me out. They got me a towel. They got me cooled off. But that's not even the funniest part. Is one of my buddies was sitting 2 rows back and across, and he said he saw me standing there. He goes, and the only thing when I saw you started to tip forward was timber.
I'm sure the lady liked that big sweat mark on the back of her too.
Yeah,
sure.
According to my parents, because they don't live there anymore, she hasn't been back to church since that happened, and I was in high school when this happened. So this was.
Well, if that was a calling, I guess she's probably down in the Protestant church down the street. I'm guessing.
Yeah, she hasn't been back to that church since then. But it's part of the qualms of, being the Italian. I try to tell it to my wife all the time, like, I keep the house cool because I'm always hot, and it's like she's, I'm always cold. Why can't we just turn the air up? I was like, because it's easier for you to put on a sweater than it is for me to lose a nationality. I don't know how to. It's just.
You should see now at Mathews. There's not too many Italians up at Mathews. Not many where I teach at. So my room, my thermostat is always, it's 68 is the highest I keep it at. My kids complain. I go, I'm comfortable. I go, they gotta bring some coats, bring something to wear, because I ain't changing. Ain't gonna happen.
Better bring a sweater when you're coming to Pulmbo's class. Mr. Pulmbo, you need a sweater for that class, not me.
They might not learn anything in my class, but when they're leaving, all they know is if that my room was cold. That's probably what they remember. Though, get something out of me.
Yeah, they learned something. Like Pulmbo's room was cold. That's what they learned. So, getting back into the sports aspect, we'll get into the Italian stuff here too as well. We're gonna get into that there near the end, but I mean, some of the accolades that you had here. So take me through some of being a first-time head football coach. What was that like at Lowellville to start? And how did the teams do then? And what was your experience like as a head coach?
Yeah. So I'll be honest with you, I wasn't even planning on being the head coach when I was. So I was, I was an assistant coach. I obviously got my start as at 18, and then I ended up going up to the varsity level the next year, and I was an assistant all the way up until I was, 22. So I was a senior in college, and the head coach stepped down, and I applied for it. I figured, just get some interviewing experience, get some things going. And I went through the interviewing process, and at the end of it, they actually offered me the job. I was, just getting ready to I was 23 years old coaching my first varsity football game. I was probably the youngest coach in the state of Ohio coaching a team. And it was, I probably was not ready for it. I'll be honest with you. But, as being a coach, you got to surround yourself with good people. And I did that, like our coaching staff, even though we might have some differences, like maybe in the coach's office, but we were always, a united front. And that was one of the things I always look for, in assistant coaches, guys you can trust, guys that are loyal, guys that you can depend on, especially because things are going to go bad. There's going to be kids that are going to be upset. There's going to be parents upset. But if you, and even in life, you want to surround yourself with people, friends that are, going to have your back, they're loyal to you, and compassion. And I was lucky enough to, surround myself with really good people. And I was really blessed to have good people around me when I coached. So I was there as the head coach for 4 years. I taught Youngstown City Schools at that time. It was really difficult being a head coach and teaching in a district that wasn't there. You weren't in the building all the time. It was difficult. So I kind of stepped away from that. And then I ended up getting a job at New Middletown Springfield. They've been in the state finals 2 years. This year they lost in the regional semis. one game away from state. I got lucky enough to meet a good friend there, Sean Guerrero. He was the head coach there, and we ended up becoming really good friends. And then that's kind of when I got hired at Mathews that year and took over the football program there, and I had some success. But but going back to Lowellville, being that first-time head coach, to answer your original question, it was challenging. It was definitely challenging, but being from there, being alumni and kind of knowing the community, I think that was, a benefit in itself being, doing that too. And I had a good surrounding, community around me that really did support me in the beginning there.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate, especially with the parent aspect of it.
Yeah.
The kid's not happy because like I said, I mean, it was a summer league. It was, a couple months of my coaching career, and I think it's a one and done for me for that, just because of, I don't know how many parents would come up to me, well, why isn't my kid swimming this event? Well, why isn't my kid swimming that event? Why isn't he on the A relay? Why is he on the B relay? It's like, I mean, I'm the coach. I see your kid every day at practice.
Yeah.
I see what he can do. I know his times backwards and forwards. I know every stroke what he can do. By the way, I know he's your kid. This is going to sting a little bit, and it's going to be, honestly, your kid's not an A relay kid. He's good. He's our anchor on our B relay, which is the next step to move into the A relay. But right now, he's not the best kid on the team. I hate to break it to you. Does he have potential to work? Yes. Am I working with him daily and pushing him harder so that I can get him on the A relay? Yes.
Yeah.
So let me do my job, and you just deal with him being sore after going through a Coach Mike workout, and just deal with it.
I'll tell you what, piggybacking off of that, one thing that I learned coaching, because I coaching 14 years here, or longer actually. I don't even know how many years. You got college including there, but anyways, kids aren't stupid. Like they know who should be in, obviously what relay. They know who should be starting. They're not dumb. So like when parents try to tell you what it is, then you start playing favor. That's where you're going to get in a tough battle with your parents, and then your kids are going to be dissensive towards you. So you got to make sure, because if you're honest with your players and they know that you're doing the right thing, because they know they're not dumb. They know who should be the starting quarterback. They should know they know that. So like when you have parents say, "That's my so-and-so should be running the ball," and then you listen to these outside people that aren't part of your family or part of your group, that's what you're going to cause. That's where you're going to get some problems and trouble.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, even the kids that were on the A relay were like, "Oh, you're not going to just throw him on this relay. Who we taking off? Now we're going to lose a race just because." I was like, "No, we're not. No, don't you worry. That she doesn't make the decisions around here. We make the decisions around here. So don't worry about that. You're fine. Your relay is secure." And just to test them out, I mean, I would do this with my kids all the time, because I had kids from 6 to 18 years old was the summer league. So I mean, we had like 96 kids on the team, and that was even over what we should have had. There was just that many people that actually wanted to sign up for swimming, which was good for like me being a former swimmer, seeing that there's still that love for the sport that you don't hear about but every 4 years when the Olympics comes around. But I would do this at practice, and I'd be like, "All right, we got some time left. We finished the workout early. Since you think you're better than this person, let's have a race. Both of you line up. We're going to do a 50 freestyle, just down and back. You're both sprinters. This should be easy peasy. Let's see who wins." And they would jump in, and just seeing him going against one of his teammates and losing the race, not by much, but he still lost the race. I mean, and he was just like, "I see it now." It's like, I'm doing this for you. Did you do anything like that with your players, like that wanted that competition?
Yeah, and honestly, the game of football is like it's competitive. Kids are battling for positions, guys going at it, and what's nice is you got a lot of opportunities in practice where you can put some kids in different positions, different situations, and if you can make your practices competitive, like you're doing with your swimmers, I think it just brings the best out of everybody. Your best out of your coaches, because your coaches are excited to see some guys getting after it instead of just kind of, going through the motions. All right, let's run, ISO 70 times against a scout team and just, blocking it here and there. It's like, you want to get good on good, guys getting after it, guys getting a potential to earn these spots. And, you might find a diamond in the rough, especially with some of these guys that are timid, that might not be as vocal. You might find somebody out there, and it's it's like, if you can make your practices competitive, and I think in any sport, it's going to make, even when I coach track, I coached basketball one year too. Just getting kids to, hey, press them down the court, doing some things, getting after it. It's
right.
Makes practices fun and makes some, doesn't make your job boring either. You try to make it fun for yourself because you got to be there. So you might as well see some competition going.
Yeah, absolutely. I still remember because I lived on the scout team at high school when I was playing football, but I never played scout team receiver. I always played scout team quarterback, and I always thought I had a hell of an arm, and I could throw the ball deep. And it wasn't until one practice my coach was like, "All right, we've ran like 15 running plays at him in a row. Bono, do you want to throw one?" I was like, "Absolutely, let me throw one. Let's see what we got. Let me warm the cannon up here a little bit." And I remember throwing it over the defender's head, and I mean it was a perfect pass. And our starting quarterback came up to me and goes, "I didn't know you had that kind of arm on you." I was like, I can throw, but you're our starter. You're way better than me at quarterback. You can read the defense way better than I can. That's why I play receiver. You're a little better than me at that. But hey, if you go down, just put a plug in the coach's ear. I can throw it deep. Let's just say that.
Yeah. I know when I was back scout team days, I was a freshman in high school. My brother was a senior. So not only did I get a beating on the football field, I got home. My buddy and his buddies would be there, and I'd get a beating at home too. So it was I was lucky enough, but they treated me good though. But yeah, scout teams like, you get PTSD thinking about that sometimes. I see some of the kids that practice getting hit. I'm like, oh boy, I remember those days. Not fun. Not fun.
Watching my son play, and I saw him take a hell of a shot. I mean, he plays the line, which I have no idea how to coach. I mean, I was always the skinny receiver or anything like that. I don't know how to coach the line. I'm just like, dude, just hit somebody. Just line up and just hit somebody. Whoever's in front of you, hit them. I don't know. I just knock somebody on their ass and let's just call it a day. And so, and I saw him take a shot. Like, he came across the line and nobody blocked him. And he had never seen that before. And it was a pulling guard coming and just took him out. And it brought back how many times that had happened to me, and just like shivered in the stands. My wife was like, "He'll be okay." I was like, "No, that was a PTSD flashback of me getting hit before." That's just, oh man, that brought back so many memories.
You won't get off field anymore. That he'll learn. Yeah, you get hit so many times, you learn.
Yeah, and he came up to me after the game and he's like, "Oh, my head still hurts." I was like, "Teach you to keep your head on a swivel, huh?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "How many times have I told you to always keep your head on a swivel and know who's coming?" He was like, "I forgot."
Yeah.
And get it, man. You're 12. We got a long way to go for this, my man. But
Too funny.
He keeps it interesting. I'll tell you that. And like I said, I've talked about him a couple times here on the show. My son's 12. He's 5'8", 205 pounds. Like, he's my little tank at 12 years old. I don't know if I was over 5 foot at 12. I don't. I mean, I shot up after that, but
Yeah.
I
That's
graduated in high school at 155 pounds. So that wasn't the biggest kid in the world. And it's just, I don't know where he came from. He's huge.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be passing out at church, falling on some lady, I'm sure, shortly. He's hydrated before you send him to church.
You fan him down, bring a fan, just keep him cool.
Yeah. There you go.
So you brought it up, and I want to talk about it. Obviously, both of us being Italian and the holidays passing. One of my favorite holidays, Thanksgiving, because it's the 3 F's. It's family, food, and football on Thanksgiving. So how was your Thanksgiving? Let's talk about that, being an Italian.
It was great. Yeah, you know what? Usually my mom, that's an Italian side. She actually has Thanksgiving every year. Now I'm gonna tell you, I got a weird food allergy. I'm allergic to poultry. I can't eat chicken. I can't eat turkey. I'm allergic to all of that. So she got to make everything separate. Okay. So everything got to be, it's a weird allergy. Like if there's one thing I wish I can, is I can eat at anything, as obviously turkey doesn't, I don't know, whatever, turkey, but it's like wing nights. When I was younger, going to wing nights with my buddies, I'd be like, I'll watch the coats, and I'll just order a burger off the menu. But it's like, it's one of those things. It's like, so Thanksgiving, I know as Italian, you said the food. I like the football, I like that, all that stuff. But anyways, going back. So my mom usually has a big feast for it. Like she makes everything. She usually makes me a steak, or she takes care of me. Italian mother's like, stay at home mom. She always treats me good, no matter. But my sister ended up having a baby on Tuesday, so I have a new niece in our family, which is
congratulations
exciting.
on that.
So so they actually didn't have Thanksgiving, so I went to my in-laws. Now my in-laws they're mutts. Okay, so they're not full-blooded Italian like my side of the family is, but they are good cooks though. So it was a good feast. And talk about football, my wife's uncle played in the NFL. John Jarek, he's a Struthers graduate. So her uncle's ex-NFL guy, and then his son plays for Northwestern. He's a senior. He's a 3-year starter. So football is huge on my wife's side of the family. So every time we get together, it's football this, football that. So it's always good conversations with them, and playing. Obviously, he went to Penn State, her uncle, and then played for the Rams and the Vikings, and now his son. Again, being a senior at Northwestern, played in 2 Big Ten championships. Obviously, they were pretty awful this year, but it's always fun getting together with them, talking Big Ten football and being involved with that. So it was a good Thanksgiving, being seeing a lot of that family there and relaxing. So it was nice. It's nice.
Yeah, I gotta say, I know about in-laws that aren't Italian, because it's kind of a similar story. I mean, I had to move 2 hours away from my family, down here in Zanesville, Ohio, where my wife's family's at, and she's full Irish.
Okay.
And yeah, so we're a very loud household, Italians and Irish, and it's just that I'm surprised the cops haven't been called here, just thinking we're arguing when we're just having a conversation. But so I went to that Thanksgiving this year, and it was just like, all right, we're missing something. Where's the sauce? We're missing sauce. Why is it? What?
Oh yeah, you gotta have some type of pasta dish
and there was none. This was the first year they had like noodles, but it wasn't a pasta dish. I'm just looking like,
I get it.
We're missing something here. I don't know what's happening, but I mean, I'll eat it. I'm gonna eat like still my normal 3 platefuls. And
you still use random Italian phrases with like things in the kitchen too. So like, what do you call what a muppin is, right?
Muppin, yeah, dish towel.
So yeah. So when me and my wife first started dating, okay, so we were in our kitchen. I spilled something. I said, "Hey, grab me the muppin." She's like, "What?" I said, "Grab me the muppin." And she's like, "You mean a dish towel?" So I'm like sitting there thinking, I'll be damned. I go, it is called a dish towel, isn't it? So like I like kind of played it off. I thought it was called a muppin until I was like in my late 20s. I'm like, mid 20s. I thought that's just what the name of them were. So it's like they don't understand though.
The same exact thing when me and my wife first moved in together. I was doing dishes and I was getting ready to dry them, and I said, "Hey, hand me the muppin." And she goes, "What?" And I said it louder, like she didn't hear me. She was 2 feet away from me. I said, "Hand me the muppin." And she goes, "I don't know what you're saying to me. You just switched from English to a different language. I don't know." I was like, "Oh, the dish towel. Yeah, that." I'm sorry, I forgot. You're not Italian in the least.
Yeah.
So you have no idea what a muppin is. And
yeah.
I use it all the time. And I used to always laugh because my grandmother had a saying, and we knew when my grandmother lost English, it was time to stop messing with grandma. She's now telling you she is no longer responsible for her actions because she's speaking Italian, and that's game over.
Yeah.
And her favorite one, and I don't know if you've heard it, but it was "Statagita face."
Okay, no.
The literal translation is "shut your face."
Well,
and just shut up. And basically, shut your face. And
we used to get aspetta. Wait, shut up. Wait a minute.
Yeah. But here might be another one. Did you ever going to get Nishkaf?
Oh yeah.
Nishkaf?
Yeah, you're gonna get one. How about a scapatuna botch? You got that. I'm sure you got that one too.
all the time. And my wife, she's trying to learn them. God bless her, but I mean, she tries, and it's
I'm
just like,
trying to bring, so where I teach at, I'm trying to bring a little bit of Italian up at Mathews. Again, not too many Italian there. So I teach the kids. So anytime like I teach something or I'm telling them something at the end, I go capiche. And the kids like look at me. I said capiche, and so they don't know what to say. So I've been teaching them. They got to say capiche back. I go, yeah, you understand? Like, yes, I understand capiche. Like so. It's baby steps. Don't get me wrong, but eventually I'm gonna turn some of these kids into, off these Italians.
I only use capiche with my son when I need to get a point across, like when he's in trouble. And let me explain it for the new listeners. He's a stepson to me, so he's not Italian. He's still the full Irish, so nothing. And it's always when he's in trouble, and I go capiche. And it's been 5 years, and now finally I'm starting to capiche, and it's just he tried. It's so funny to me that it's his response, and now that he's actually responding with it without me having to say it multiple times. But you got to bring a little bit of the Italian culture to.
I'm trying to bring us. And my wife hates Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve's my favorite holiday at the time. I don't know if you guys do the 7 fish. You guys do all that.
Good stuff. 7 fishes.
That's so my wife hates going to my mom's house, so my parents' house, because she says the house stinks like fish. All that she doesn't like seafood. But I said I gotta live with it. It's because once they're gone, I got to bring up. We're living the tradition. She's like, not in my kitchen. I go, well, we'll see.
See about that. Yeah, it's gonna happen. Just get used to it.
You could do.
My wife, I mean, she loves fish. I mean, seafood's one of her favorite dishes. But the way my parents would prepare the fish, it's like all casseroles. It's not like 7 slabs of fish. When I first told her, like, hey, we do the Feast of the 7 Fishes on Christmas Eve. You're going to love it. You love fish. I'm not a big fish eater, but this is the one day a year I eat fish, and that's Christmas. Yeah. And we got there, and she was like, it's all casseroles, and like there's crab cakes, and like what? She was expecting 7 different slabs of fish across the table. I was like, oh, you gotta mix it up every now and again. You can't just have 7 fish laying across the table. And
there's a pasta dish.
Yeah, there was. She always would make buttered noodle crouton. With crouton, we'd have calamari sauce. But for my nephews who won't eat fish, and my oldest sister doesn't eat fish. And it's the weirdest thing. Like she
my sister's the same way. I don't get it either. I don't know.
She eats the buttered noodles. They'll make some mashed potatoes for, and like stuff that it's like, come on, it's Christmas Eve. Suck it up and eat some fish, and then just call it a day. And then we'll have their traditional Italian Christmas with pasta everywhere. Just deal with it.
Yeah.
Because my wife's been trying to get me to eat fish throughout the year, and I'm like, no, I save that up. It's one day a year, and it's coming up.
I can't eat poultry. I'm limited. I gotta stuff myself.
You can. So, what is your favorite Italian tradition?
Oh, well, being from Lowellville, if I didn't say it was the Babydoll Dance at the Lowellville Festival, people would kill me if I didn't bring that up. So every 16th of July, the Lady of Mount Carmel Festival, Lowellville has a big feast. It's called Big Day. It's the 16th. It's actually my wife's birthday is July 16th too. But again, so we try to see. I said that's part of our Italian in there. So that's what we just say. You're born on the Big Day, the feast. But they have a huge Italian tradition. It's called the Babydoll Dance. And they, I don't even know what town it is that in, village it is in Italy, but they bring it here. It's this big, I'm sure Falcone told you about it, and it's probably some of your other Lowellville guys. It's like, you got this big baby doll, big paper, probably 7 foot, 8 foot baby doll, a bunch of fireworks on it. They play, or a Mount Carmel band plays music, and people go crazy over it. Go crazy.
Yeah. So. Actually talked to the guy who put that on, Zach.
Zach Harkleroad. Yeah, good guy.
Yeah, he put it on, and we talked about that. And that's something I got to see. I didn't get to make it this year. I really wanted to, but he was telling me about it. I was like, I got to see this. This is amazing, because where I grew up, the one thing we had every summer, it was community days. And it's basically the same thing. They get bands and there's just vendors everywhere. And we don't have the big baby though. I might need to talk to some people back in Fallsville, West Virginia. We need to step our game up. Lowellville is crushing us right now with this baby.
It's the best small Italian festival that you'll ever find. Honestly, it's awesome. It's great. You can YouTube it. I'm sure it's on YouTube. I'm sure somebody got something on there.
I'm sure I'm going to have to, because I need to see this thing. Zach was telling me about it, and I was so mad when I couldn't make it. I was like, I got a comedy show that day. Can I cancel that? Because there's something I need to see.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like you're if you come down here, but these people are crazy. That's what you would think. That's a good thing. That's what we want. So.
All right. So I feel like I could talk to you all day, but we are running down near the end of the episode here. But there's one more segment we got to go over.
Okay.
And that is from the wonderful manager of the show, John Fitty Falcone. We have the Fast Fitty 5. That is 5 random questions from Johnny Falcone. And I've got to tell you, man, these are the most random questions I have ever.
He prepares them for each guest. Is this what it is? So
every guest, yes.
So if they're outrageous, I got to give them a call after and kind of get on his case a little bit, right? Are they all good though? They're good.
They're good. Okay. But, I mean, they've progressively gotten more and more random. And they're supposed to be kind of rapid fire, but you can elaborate because there's one that I'm going to try to get through without laughing. But they have nothing to do with what we've been talking about for the show. Just to put it in
just have an Italian week. I can just be on all week. You can have me on.
I will gladly do that.
We don't even have to do it as a podcast. We just talk. We just
talk all day. All right. Question number 1. New Year's is a overrated or underrated holiday?
New Year's is I'm going to say it's underrated.
Okay.
Underrated. Because I'm going to say New Year, it starts the new year, everyone kind of starts fresh, and then there's football. It's college football. There's some big games on. How can anybody ever say that's overrated? It's great. Love it.
Bowl mania. Gotta love it. All right.
Good.
This one I think is the most relevant to what we've been talking about the entire time. Could Mount Union beat YSU in football?
Yeah, I don't see one. Yeah, absolutely. I think they could on especially in some of the teams they've had in the past. Yeah, absolutely. I believe so. Especially some of the years the YSU's down this year. It seems like Mount Union, they don't have issues with their the quarterback. Seems like kids I think they're just more consistent. Like good teams. I always go back to, follow Ohio football. Kirtland is a good example of, kind of that. Kirtland's playing Division II teams, Division I teams. And, what they do, they don't have any superstar athletes. I watched them against South Range I was on the sidelines watching them last week, and it was like pretty amazing. Like if you can build a program and get people buying into it, I think so. Absolutely.
All right. Question number 3, best thing about being Italian.
Oh man, it's the food, man. Yeah, it's like that's
an easy one. That was a layup. That's
an easy one.
All right, this one is what I'm going to try to get through this one. It's the longest question he's ever asked, but all right. So if you had Fitty, myself, and yourself, and we were locked in a racquetball court with an alligator for 5 minutes in the pitch black with nothing but a flare gun with one flare, a box of feathers, and a pair of boxing gloves, could we survive?
Oh, hell yeah. That's the dumbest question I think. That's an easy question. Yeah, we'd survive. That gator got no chance. 0 chance.
I don't know why I made it through that question.
0. We don't even need there's no question. No question.
3 Italians versus a gator. It's going down.
It's going down. We'd probably tame it and end up being our pet. I mean, that's the way I look.
I would tame it, and I would name him Fafo.
Yeah, I like it. Have him on your show.
Short form, this is going to be the only time I'm going to really swear on the show here, but I'm going to Spaffo. Fuck around and find out. That's what I'm going to name him. Spaffo. All right, last question. Better way to travel, a train or a boat?
I gotta go train. I'm not a. I know you're a. I'm not a good swimmer. I sink. I can't float. So if I think I'd have to definitely go train on that one.
All right.
Was it random? What the
Yeah.
heck, man? What goes through his head?
I really don't know. This was the first time he's brought one of his questions that are normally up on his Instagram, like with the bear or the alligator or whatever.
Yeah.
And he had to fight it who wins. You can only use, I don't know. Something about him. God, man, I love Fitty so much. I can't help it, but he can't help but like
He
the
probably
guy.
got weird dreams. He probably writes. He has probably a little notebook next to his bed. Writes it down.
I can't say much. I mean, being a comedian, I have a notebook at at reach at all points and times. Just my thoughts keep me up sometimes. So I get it, but I don't put them on Instagram and podcasts but all right, since we're coming down to the end of the show, I give every guest this opportunity. Anything you want to promote, any good messages you want to get out there, minute, and the floor is yours, man.
Yeah. Well, hey, I appreciate you having me on. When Fiddy gave me a text saying I was going to be on this show, he asked if I'd be interested in being on the show. I said absolutely. And anytime I can talk to another Paisan about Italian traditions, and I'm in, 100% in. But just going back to some of the things, with the coaching world and teaching world that I'm involved in, it's I really met a lot of great people doing what I do. I love what I do. I got a great family. My wife's a teacher. Kids are 6 and 5. Without them, it's it really is a blessing. Life is definitely great. And I can't be happy enough for what I'm doing. And again, it's just it's been a good ride. Being 37, hopefully it's I'm not even halfway there yet. So, but I appreciate you having me on the show. You can anytime you need me, I'll be more than willing to come back on. So thanks, really appreciate it.
Not a problem. And I gotta say, I'm definitely getting you for season 2. We're gonna find a way to get Mike Pulmbo back on the show here for sure. And I'm gonna have to tell Fitty he's gonna have to really bring it with the Fast 55 for you. This was a fun show, man. Like you said, I always like talking to a fellow Paisan on the show, and it's a lot of loudness, a lot of hand movements. I'm glad people are actually finally getting to see how I actually talk with my hands. Now that we've added video to the podcast. But that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Ride Home Rants podcast. Again, I want to thank Mike Pulmbo for being on the show. As always, if you like the show, be a friend, tell a friend. If you didn't, tell them anyways. They might like it just because you didn't. That's going to do it. And I will see y'all next week.
All right. Thanks.